is it possible he could play tomorrow depending on his imaging, or is he definitely out?
It is possible, yeah. And in the past, we've had situations like this with him, and you know you don't know, and boom, he's ready to go. So he's ultra competitive. He's played lots of games, not at 100% and below. Tomorrow he could resolve, but but he's in a range of knowing him, and I say that before we have all the details. So a possibility, but we don't know on probability yet.
I'm sorry, is this related to the first thing he went through yesterday, or is it different?
It occurred in the game yesterday, so I don't know what you're referring to, the first thing, or.
He went off the ice in the second period.
Well, he had a skate lace on one. That's why I say I don't really know. Myself confusing because he left the bench for reasons that weren't injuries yesterday as well. And again, skate lace was one of them.
As far as he goes, we talked about how he never.
Oh, he left the bench for stitches too, and it's unrelated to stitches.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Left it 3 times, so that's why I say now you know why I'm confused. So a lot happens on that bench. I don't see what happens behind. No, I just watch the ice. So yeah, he went off for stitches. He had a skate lace break, and then he had what he's dealing with now.
As far as Tage goes, we talked about how he didn't have the best game Tuesday, and he bounced back yesterday. But the last couple of weeks as a whole has been his best stretch by far this season. What's changed? Is it as simple as he got the brace off or whatever? Or, I mean, what's changed?
That helped. Having that, he had the broken hand. You come back and you have a restricted puck handling and shot and everything else. And then you finally get the brace off, and a couple weeks later, and then you got to get back to it. So yeah, I think that's a big part of it, and I just think he's, the line that they weren't together for over a month because of different injuries between he, Tuck, and Skinner. So yeah, took him a little while to find a rhythm because of those. I think those things complicated, maybe some others, and. Now he looks like he's hit stride. He looks a lot more comfortable, and if we can get the power play going where it should be, that should help significantly. But him scoring on the power play is big. It's a good feeling for him. It's a good feeling for everybody.
Dylan Cousins was talking about Jordan Greenway on the penalty kill and said it almost seems like he knows what's going to happen before it happens. Knowing Jordan the way you know him, how much of that do you think is instinct, and how much do you think is the way he prepares?
He prepares very well. He knows. He's been in the league a while, so he knows power plays. He knows top players in the league, and he knows their tendencies, and he knows how power play can score a goal. So he's a take charge leader in preparation. When we sit in the video room with the whole group before the game, he talks and sends the right messages, and he commands when he's on the ice. You can hear him from the stands talking to the 3 other penalty killers and informing them on the situation. So very, very high situational awareness through experience in that realm of penalty kill.
Is that leadership piece with him something you knew about beforehand, or has he maybe developed it more?
He's become a better leader and a bigger leader as he's grown his game and matured as a person. He was always a person that teammates migrated toward. So you'd walk in a locker room and people would be sitting there listening to him or hanging out with him. You'd hop on a bus and they'd be sitting with him. And he's not a loud guy. He's a very nice calm to him. He has a presence to him, and that's what people just attract to him. So, but from the leadership standpoint, so he's always had that. He's always been influencing others in a positive way, but his leadership, his confidence in what he's doing has grown tremendously as he's learned the game. He's gained experience and hindsight, and he's gone through situations over and over through his career that he now is very comfortable in and comfortable sharing with others, and it's helped Dylan Cousins on the penalty kill. He's become a very good penalty killer in a very short time because of Dylan, or because of Jordan, I should say. He'd been on the penalty kill for 2 years now, in and out, and just didn't have the feel, and Jordan's really, really helped him narrow the scope to really the few impactful things that you can do as a killer to influence the power play. And, you know, a lot of times you don't realize that as a killer. You're overwhelmed by the power play until you learn the tactics of, okay, how can we manipulate the power play? You know, what's predictable about the power play? And Dylan's starting to feel and see that through a lot of help by Jordan.
When Dahlin and Samuelson are an effective shutdown pair like they were last night, is there ever a common thread to when they are on? You know, is there ever a through line between those positive performances you've seen from them?
Yeah, usually when we get mad at them. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm kidding. You can figure it out. But you know, you when they're not that way, you get pissed off as a coach because they're not playing as well as they can play and they're to their capabilities, and you get on them. Quite simple. You get in their face on it and sit down and watch more video on it, and you let them know that they're not playing to their abilities and capabilities, and they're not taking charge enough. And when they take charge, and Samuelson is physical and assertive, and he's imposing. And when he's not on, usually he's not physical and assertive, and they fall off on their gaps. Their focus isn't there, and just that, you know, their first step is back instead of in. And, you know, that would be one easy visual. You know, their first step is back, they're not on their game. And I'm probably going to be in their face. Their first step is in, they're assertive, they're aggressive, they're confident. And so if you're asking me what commonalities, those are some of them that I see.
I know that you don't get frustrated. It's not like they're the only guys that you would get frustrated with, but just the fact that you know what they're capable of and how important it is to have a shutdown pair like they can be. I mean, how much as a coach does that really feed into, like, well, you really need that. Like, you know, top teams, you got to have two guys you can put out there in those situations.
We need that. Every team needs that. And you know, reference Jordan Greenway again. He's born in '97, so he'll be, 27 years old this year, if I have my math right, something like that. 27 years old. Now he's finally in the prime of his NHL career. He has this hindsight of life at 27 and hockey at 27 in the NHL, and he's consistent. We're talking about two guys that are 5 years younger or more that's what it's going to be about. That's an experienced player, consistent, be able to bring and hit the repeat button game in and game out, recognize it, oh, this situation is familiar. Or this pattern is familiar, or my routine is, you know, I'm not on my route. Why did I not have a game at the peak level? And that's part of gaining experience, unfortunately. And yes, it is frustrating because it's a process, and you've got to, you know, the coaching side, you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and you know that, you know, slowly it's happening. These players around the NHL at that age are gaining valuable experience.
Jordan said the last time he played center was before he was in the NHL, but he did say he wanted to do it, and there was no question in his mind he could do it. What made you comfortable with it, knowing he hadn't played it in a long time?
I mean, I'm very familiar with him as a player, but much like the penalty kill, his situational awareness in the league, and he sees and picks up patterns and consistency. I mean, you know, the game might look random. It's not. It's even though there's flow in hockey, there's situations that that repeat everywhere up and down the rink. Yeah, and he's had enough experience now in games under his belt that he recognizes situations and his responsibility within it, whether it's wing or center. He's picked up for the centerman. You know, these guys aren't always in position with the flow of the game. Wingers have to pick up centerman's responsibilities. You know, if he trips down the ice, you're picking up that responsibility. So it's not, might not have played the position, but I've watched him pick up those responsibilities without any effort whatsoever and stress. There's no stress to it, no anxiety that he carries, and so for that reason, you know, he's very effective on the defensive side. Now, you know, the question would be on the offensive side. What does this do for us and for him offensively? Does it free him? Does it make him better in other ways? You know, and it'll take time to see that. But on the defensive side, he's very, very responsible and should be very effective for us there.
When you look at JJ, halfway through this year, he went over his last year's goal total already last night. Just what stands out to you the most? What's changed for him from as a rookie until now, I guess, maybe?
You know, some guys have a really, really good rookie year and they come back and it's hard to repeat. You know, you think of guys that even were up for the rookie of the year, we know, or won rookie of the year last year. It's challenging. You know, as a young guy, you don't have a breadth of experience. But for JJ, his year was you know, there was plenty to be excited about, but plenty that we could challenge him about last year. You got to be better. You got to be better. Even our year-end meeting was, you know, was one of, you know, don't be content with your year and don't be satisfied with your year. And I thought he took that to heart over the summer to come back here in the mindset last year was not good enough. And he's kind of carried that in. You know, sometimes when you think you had a good year last year, your appetite for more, if you don't have an appetite for more, you got nothing. You're going to get slapped you're going to get knocked down pretty fast in this league. And he's had an appetite for more.
Have teams pay more attention to him, show him more respect, do you think, this year?
I think, yeah, that's how you'd have to ask other teams. I guess I don't see, I see that they pay attention to that as a line. You know, when you put Cousins, Peterka, and Quinn together, we were able to do that. The other night, you know, Seattle wanted to match up their top D pair, and when we did split Tuck and Thompson, and then the Cousins line was going, they jumbled their D all over the place. They didn't know who to match up against, and we created a lot of chances we just couldn't cash in on. But we got away from their, you know, what the other team wanted for a matchup real early with some changes. So I do see that when we have three-line depth, it's hard for teams. They have to kind of pick your poison because we have three lines that can score, and that was part of shifting Greenway. You know, Middlestead back up with Thompson and Tuck last night, so we have two lines at least that are real command respect of scoring the other team, and then Greenway and Krebs line could be lines that could grind it and push it and wear or tear on the other team. You know, so we didn't spread it thin from a scoring threat standpoint. And you know, JJ, Cousins, and Peterka when they're together, yes. I haven't noticed when separate by any means, but together they're great.
Has Lukin earned the right to get his second straight start?
You'll have to watch for that one, I guess. But he has. He's played very well, and he's played consistent, and he's played well at home, and lots of factors that we all see. So, yeah, you're processing the way you're bringing it about.
I know you don't see the Canucks a lot. They look quite a bit different than last year, just in terms of where they are in the standings. What do you see?
Mojo, confidence. Last year they didn't have it. They struggled. They fought it all year last year, and they were tight. And now they're free. They're going. They're skating. They make mistakes. They don't even realize they're making mistakes. They just go. And obviously Demko's been really good in net. I'm too familiar with Thatcher and Quinn Hughes. A couple guys I had that are definitely big parts of that team, and they have many more talented guys. But yeah, I think they're playing free without the baggage that they were mentally last year.
What made the Eric Zemgus and Payton so effective last night? What do you think about it?
The base was work and simple, direct, and hard. They put pucks where they could pursue them. They pressured them. They played a responsible game and a hard game. And dating back to Pittsburgh, where the trio scored the winning goal, I think the same way. Just forecheck, simple, low to high to the net. Like I said, shifting Greenway to center. The bottom two lines now. Have the ability to grind for us and wear on another team for us. So you either want them to be able to score and win a matchup against a third pairing team, or wear the other team down a little bit with time in the zone and puck possession extended and fight and battle and scrap to maybe make room for the other couple lines. And Krebs' line has done a very good job in that. Thank you.